Okay, welcome back, Phillies fans. As we talked about in the draft episode, things are going really well for the Phillies so far, so we'll dig into that in this episode. And so 59 and 32, we are 7.5 up on the second place Dodgers. Of course, as a reminder, the top four make the postseason here, so we are into the postseason by 9.5 games over the fifth place Mets. And yeah, so Phillies, Dodgers, Cardinals, Reds, Athletics, Red Sox, Blue Jays, who I know we talked about were predicted to be much worse than this, and Mariners are currently the playoff teams in the American League Mantle Division. And bringing up the rear in the league, the Giants with 33 wins, 25.5 games back. Expanded standings-wise does not paint as pretty of a picture. We are +6 in our win differential, which I think... Oh, no, the Blue Jays are +7. So we're the second, I guess, luckiest, fortunate, whatever word you want to use, team based off our run differential and our actual record. 53 and 38 would still put us as the third best team in the league behind the Athletics and a half game behind the Dodgers. So, you know, our run differential is good. I mean, the Reds, geez, +103. We're third best run differential in the NL, fourth best in the league. We are, yeah, that's right. Third best. So we're still a really good team. We're just really not this much better than everybody else. So let's go ahead and go to the info page, check that out. So yeah, April we went 500 and then we really just took off 17, 11, 21 and 6 in May. We're 9 and 4 so far in July. It's interesting. We're first in like everything here, but then in run scored we're just sixth. So I don't know. Maybe we haven't been getting the hits in the big moments as much. But yeah, first in OPS, first in on-base slugging, batting average, first in hitter WAR, but just sixth in runs scored, third in home runs. Base running, I guess, is really the only thing we're bad at, which who cares? That's fine. If there's something to be bad at in this whole thing, it's base running. Earned run average, we're fifth. Runs allowed, we're second. Bullpen ERA is third. Starter ERA is sixth. We're first in BABIP, we're first in defensive efficiency, first in zone rating, first in strikeouts, second in walks, 14th in home runs allowed. I do think I forgot to mention this last time, but I did change my run environment from 2016 to 2017. Just the home runs were lower than I wanted them to be. I was only getting like 3 guys over 40 per year. I'd rather kind of a handful more than that, also a few guys over 50 per year. So I bumped it up to 2017. We'll see. And I think that has bumped the home runs up. But of course, that's the thing that's really handy about stats like WRC plus or ERA plus, is it takes the run environment of the league. So if a guy has a better WRC plus this year, it's not that I bumped the run environment up that made him improve. He's actually better relative to the league. Anyways, that's a story for a deeper dive for another day. And so let's go ahead and look at the lineups here. Let's sort by WAR. So Randolph really has just become a star, man. Like, he won Rookie of the Year last year. In part of the year he was up, and then this year, I mean, he's on pace for 46 home runs, on pace to drive in 114, score 112 runs, on pace for 6.6 WAR, and he's put up a 166 WRC plus. If he continues at this pace, he'll get some MVP votes. But he has just turned into a stud for us at first base and can also play some left field. But he's our everyday first baseman, right? Adames, if you can be 8% above league average with the bat and an elite defender at shortstop, you're a star. 5.3 WAR. It's by far his best offensive year for us. You can see he's gone 99, 78, and then 108 this year. Might not sustain that. BABIP is right around career average, well above where it was last year, but his walk rate is actually down, but his strikeout rate is down too. And he's hitting more home runs, which, the offensive environment might explain some of why he has 12 this year already after going 13 and 11, but it wouldn't explain the WRC plus jump. Bryce Harper having a nice season, a 151 WRC plus, far and away his best season since I took over the Phillies. You went 122, 123, 105, then 151. So definitely his best season. He's on pace for 28 home runs. It's only 73 runs driven in. And, he bats fifth, so he should be getting some pretty good RBI opportunities. That's interesting. Machado, a nice season, not as good as last year, but he's on pace for 4.2 WAR. He's 15% above league average at the bat. He's on pace for 41 homers. He had a really cool, I think, June. but was off to a hot start. Real Muto, a good bounce back year from him so far after he really struggled last year with the 80 WRC plus at 107 this year. And BABIP is back up, strikeout rate is up, and walk rate is about the same, but a better year so far from JT. Jung-Hoo Lee, who of course is our stud rookie right fielder, living up to the billing so far. 3.5 WAR. Of course, the WAR isn't going to be as high because he primarily is a DH. If he's playing right field where he's competent, or if I got his left field up, his WAR would be higher. But of course, WAR is kind of not penalized, so to speak, for DHs. But he's walking in 6%, striking out in just 10.5% of his plate appearances. He made the All-Star team, as did like Machado, Harper, Randolph. I don't know. I had Adames. I think I had like 6 All-Stars. Pache missed about a month with an injury. What was his injury? Plantar fasciitis. So he missed like 5 weeks. I think he ended up missing. And so he's only on pace to play 101 games. League average with the bat, but the glove, I'm assuming, has been good. Yeah, the glove has been awesome. So similar to Adames, if you can be league average with the bat and gold glove caliber with your glove, you're going to be a star player. And would love to see the bat come up a bit more to where it was in 2021 and 2023. We'll see. I mean, I'll take a league average bat with a gold glove caliber defense, but would love for his bat to jump up too. Bryson Stott has been fine with the bat, not as good as last year, but he's been okay. Certainly not like locking down that second base position, but playing well enough. And Nick Solak is just our platoon bats against lefties. He's been solid. Austin Hedges, he's just there to be the backup catcher. He's been fine. Nick Maton has come up, so he replaced Rivas as our left fielder against righties, and he's been good so far. 104 plate appearances, a 109 WRC plus with just a 267 BABIP, which is probably pretty far below his major league BABIP. Yeah, 319. But more in line with where it was last year. So he's really doing much better. He's walking like twice as much and striking out less. So pretty good, but he's our everyday left fielder. Not sure we need that. Or not sure that's the ticket for us as a World Series contender. Logan Davidson, as our utility player, has really struggled after being solid in his rookie season. Again, a former top 100 prospect. He's come on stronger lately, but just isn't really getting the job done. And Cespedes, who is our left fielder against lefties. He's a platoon bat, and he hits lefties really well, but he's been miserable this year. He was in AAA, I think, on a rehab assignment. He was hurt, but a 34 WRC plus against lefties after hitting a 109 last year. So really disappointing. I think we got to get rid of him. I think we need to DFA him. He's out of options, and hopefully he'll pass through waivers. But yeah, the left field is obviously, I think, the sore spot here, right? I mean, Stott, we could replace Stott, but we're good everywhere else in the infield. But Maton just doesn't have the track record to be the starting left fielder on a World Series contender. And then against lefties, it's Cespedes, who's been bad, but everybody else has been good. So I think we'll be looking to add to left field at the trade deadline. Pitching wise, we've had a couple changes, and we'll probably have a couple more. Clevenger, in terms of WAR, has been good. His FIP has just been outstanding. ERA about league average. Justice Sheffield has been really good. Barrios has been solid. We did trade for Drew Pomeranz because we had some injuries in the bullpen and some underperformances, so we didn't re-sign him, and then we traded for him. I think it was a pretty minor trade. We traded Bailey Falter, who was like a AAA type guy for us, who had poor movement. He's actually gone over and pitched well in San Francisco. Let's see. And then we traded a prospect, Jalen Jones, who is a pitching prospect who I didn't see a future for because of his poor control, but he's just 21. So, and then we got an interesting prospect back. I think this guy was Alex Pedrone. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting 18-year-old hitting prospect who hasn't performed yet. So that's the trade we made to bring Pomeranz into the bullpen. Mason Fox has been solid as a rookie in the stopper he tends to pitch about an inning and a third as a stopper coming in the 8th, so he doesn't get a lot of saves. He only has 6. Aaron Nolas definitely struggled a bit. The 5.05 ERA, 4.92 FIP. The league average ERA is right around 4.57, so he's struggled, and his stuff has taken a hit. His movement has gone down 5, according to my scout. So still a very good pitcher, but possibly the age is catching up to him sooner than we hoped. But who knows? He could always bounce back. Where were we? All right. Britton was the free agent signing. We traded for Tim Hill as well. We had some issues with lefties in our pen. So Hill is here. It did not really cost anything to get him. San Diego was looking to deal him. Beck Way has been solid. Reggie Lawson solid. Colton Eastman has jumped into the rotation due to an injury, which we'll get to all that. And ERA-wise, 3.61, but FIP is 5.32. So probably looking to bring in a starter because that's probably isn't sustainable. Archie Bradley, he's out pending. Oh, boy. He's really struggled FIP-wise, but run prevention-wise has been pretty solid. And Jose Alvarado, our guy who went to see the Guru, 5.63 FIP, 4.55 ERA. I just don't trust him. After the Guru thing, and he really struggled earlier, and he's gotten better. You can see his ERA has been as high as 5.25. His FIP was like up over 7 at some point last month. So, yeah, let's look at what the injuries I'm dealing with right now are. Wheeler has been out since May 28th, so he's coming up on about 2 months out, so he'll be back. Hicks tore his ACL like opening day. He's been out since April 4th, so that's another reason we needed help in the bullpen. And Segovia, who was up as a replacement for those two dudes, also been out since June 7th. So, yeah, I think what I'm looking at is left field for sure. So we will get Wheeler back here. So Clevenger has pitched well lately, but really struggled at times. Sheffield has been really good, but as we know, is also really good in the stopper role. You know, he pitched 108 innings as a stopper last year and put up 2.8 WAR, 3.4 R WAR. This year as a starter, 100 innings, 1.7 WAR, 2.5 R WAR. So he really looks more valuable, even on a per inning basis, as a stopper. So if I could bring in a starter who could pitch at the left level Sheffield could, and then move Sheffield to the stopper role, that's like bringing in a reliever in some ways, right? It fortifies the bullpen. I'd like to help out the bullpen here. Bradley is going to miss time and hasn't been good. Alvarado, I think I'm going to get rid of him. I don't trust him I prefer Pomeranz, Hill, and Britton, I think, at this point. And that's why I brought in Hill, so I could move Alvarado. I just haven't done it yet. So let's look at the rest of the 40-man real quick. Castaneda hasn't been up. Meyer's been up. I covered him in the prospect thing. Miller I covered in the prospect thing. Morales, I don't think he's been up, has he? Oh, he pitched 2 innings for us. Just kind of a fringy guy. Schultz has been up a little bit when we needed fresh arms. This guy's not been up. Oh, K-Pod Jew was another guy we needed. Why we need to bring another lefty, because he's just sucked. He was a free agent we signed, and he's got an 8.74 ERA, 8.40 FIP, and 11 and 1/3 innings, 9 appearances for us. He's in AAA. Going to let him get some experience down there probably the rest of the year, unless we have a bunch of injuries. Bohm I actually called up at one point. I think when I can't remember. I think when Cespedes was hurt, I called him up to play first base, move Randolph to left field. And he sucked. He got 25 plate appearances at a negative 54 WRC+. Now, only a 105 BABIP, but still, he was just not good. 4% walk percentage, a 20% strikeout percentage. I'd love to give him another chance because I think he could be a good player, but he's 27 now. He's almost 28, and he just hasn't made that jump. Rivas, of course, started the season as our left fielder against righties. And he was bad. He got 141 plate appearances for us, negative 0.9 WAR, 53 WRC+, and now he's in AAA and not doing great. And Maton is up and hitting well. John Jones has been up this year. He was up when Pache was hurt. He put in 26 games and put up a 7 WRC+. He's on the 40-man just because he's probably our second best center fielder. And if Pache gets hurt, he'll comes up. But otherwise, he's not really a relevant piece for us. Moniak is not doing much of anything in AAA. And Rojas we covered in the prospect thing. So now, what trades do we want to make? Well, you know, I was in my manager's office. I knew that Juan Soto was a free agent after this year. I know that Juan Soto plays left field. I wasn't going to trade for him because the Nationals were playing decently, and he wasn't on the trade block. like I said, I do like to keep this sim somewhat realistic and not go out and be like, oh, I just want Fernando Tatis. I just want Juan Soto. Of course, I'll make big trades, but I try to kind of limit it in some ways. But I told myself, if Soto goes on the trade block, we're going after him. He's the best left fielder in the game. He's an annual MVP candidate. He's having a good year this year. He's a free agent after the year, and we need a left fielder. So, yeah, I think I got to go and get him, even though it's even now it feels a little cheesy to go and do it, go and get one of the best hitters in baseball, because I brought in good players. Like I brought in Pache, Machado, right? Like I bring in really good players when I need them. It still just feels a little cheesy to trade him for me, but it is realistic. Like the Nationals are 44 and 47. They've decided at 6 games out and 3 million teams between them and the Reds that they're not going to make the postseason, and they have a bunch of free agents coming out, and I guess they're just going to rebuild because, they have Turner, Robles, Morton, Garrett, and Soto. Their 5 highest paid players are all free agents after the year, and they're all on the trade block, I'm pretty sure. I know at least Turner and Robles are. So I'm surprised, I understand letting Turner go at 31, but Robles at 27 and Soto at 25, you bring them back, and those are 2 pieces you can build around. I mean, Robles was a 5-WAR player for them last year. Soto is an MVP candidate. I don't totally understand their decision-making here because they have the budget room. I mean, they have $176 million for next year. So, I don't get it. They have a poor farm system. They have not made the postseason, so they haven't been a good team. Maybe they're just like, look, we're going to stop being a tweener team, and we finished 37 games out of first last year with 76 wins, and we're just going to rebuild. I mean, I think that's crazy. I think that's completely crazy, but it looks like that's the path they're going to take, and why am I going to risk one of my competitors trading for Juan Soto when I can? Now, I looked at the price, and for a rental player, the price is obscene. So that makes it feel even less cheesy to me. The fact that they are dealing their pieces. He is a free agent after the year, and they want the price for him as if he's still signed for another 2 years. It's not, but it's a trade I'll do. But it's like, all right, you would not get this for a guy on an expiring deal. So here's what they want. They want Alec Boehm, who, I think is still a very useful player, and I think he will go on and be successful. I haven't given him the time to work through his slumps at the major league level, right? Like he was solid for us the first 2 years, a bit above league average, and then he struggled for just 54 games, and I demoted him, and he's only been back for 25 plate appearances since then. So I just don't have the time for him to work through his slumps. Maybe the Nationals do. I think he could really be a solid above average major league first baseman. But I just, I have Randolph now, and I don't have the time to wait because I'm trying to win now with JT and Bryce. So Boehm is a major piece, even though he's not a central piece for my team now. That's a pretty valuable piece to give up, even at the age of 27. Logan Davidson is a former top 100 prospect. So he was the 37th prospect in baseball the last time he was eligible to be ranked. Now, he's 26 now. He can play a bunch of positions. Good utility guy. And major league level, he's now at 535 plate appearances, almost a season's worth. And he's been a little below league average. Now, he started well last year, and then he struggled this year. If Soto comes in, he takes Davidson's spot on the roster and jumps into left field and then bumps Maton down to the utility role guy. So a lot of this for Davidson might be BABIP. It's over 100 points lower. I think he's a good, young, above average hitter who can play multiple positions. I think this guy has value and could become even better. My scout sees him as not yet reached his potential, and OSA sees him, a 65 home run power. He's on pace for 25 home runs in 518 plate appearances, and he's not even hitting that well this year. A 13% walk rate. This is a really good player who I think will come into his own and be a really... I think he'd be a guy who'd play on my team for several seasons and be a good contributor. Now, his lack of defensive excellence really makes him easier to give up for me. So that's Davidson. Cespedes, we're going to DFA. He just has not grown into the platoon bat we were hoping he would be. He 2022 as a rookie for the Orioles had a league average bat in 105 starts and finished like 6th in Rookie of the Year voting. But he's out of options and he sucked. He's not good enough to be on a team this year that's contending for the World Series. Another piece that's really painful to give up is Mick Abel. Abel is going to be a good major league starter. He's finally coming into his own. He's finally showing some promise on the minor league level after struggling and also having some injuries for me. So, he's missed. This was the big one. He had the surgery, removed bone chips, and he missed like most of that season. 2023 was like a lost season for him. In 2022, he missed 6 weeks. So, I think Davidson and Abel are definitely guys I see contributing for me for several seasons. Bohm, I think, could, but I've made peace with getting rid of Bohm. And Davidson, with his lack of defensive home, I can make peace with getting rid of him. But I don't love getting rid of either. Abel is the one, it sucks to get rid of a 22-year-old starter who is probably going to get better and better. Now, Pedrone is a guy that every team wants, and I guess it's because of this. He's a leader, and he's a great defensive catcher. He's below league average with the bat in Double-A, but his WAR is great. This is a guy who could honestly be on my bench and be my backup catcher, and a lot of teams see him that way because basically every Make This Work Now, he's in like the top. If it's a list of like 15 or more players, he's in it. Teams really value him. I'm fine giving him up. So that's the price for 3 months of one of the best players in baseball. It's not a price that would fly in today's major league, real life major league. The days of giving up prospects like Eloy and Gleyber Torres and guys like that for rentals doesn't happen anymore. And I know I've quoted this trade a few times, but you look at the Manny Machado trade when he was a rental and one of the best players in baseball that season and went to the Dodgers. It was 5 players, but there was no can't miss player. And here, I think Davidson, Bohm, Abel are all major league players, and Cespedes could be, and Pedrone could be as well. So it's a painful package to give up, but honestly, I kind of like it. It makes it feel less cheesy. The fact that it's like, oh, dang, like you're giving up a lot, and he's a rental. Now, here's the thing. We're going to bring back Juan Soto. If he wants 40 or 50 million per year, we'll figure out a way to make it work. Again, I know I keep saying this, but it does feel a little cheesy to bring him in and keep him and have him on the team with Harper, but I think I've done it in a way that's realistic and genuine. So, we'll do everything in our power to re-sign him. So, pitching-wise, I haven't looked at as much, and I don't have as much of a plan. I'm just not sure yet. So, if we just look at like the trade block and look at starters, Alcantara, Alcantara I'm interested in. I think, when Wheeler comes back, I'll have my 5 starters, but I can bump Eastman will go to the bullpen when Wheeler comes back, or we make a trade. Sheffield could go and be our stopper. And then we've got depth. Say we have Nola, Barrios, Clevenger, Wheeler, and, say we bring in Alcantara. Then if one of them gets hurt, Sheffield can jump right in. And be great for us. So I like to have 6 really good starters on a team that I want to make a deep run with in case I have injuries. And then, of course, guys like Eastman and Lawson who can jump in if you really get hit with injuries, and Segovia if he's healthy. So Alcantara is a name that interests me for sure. And extreme ground ball, he's having a career year. He really has not been very good in this sim. Is this just Major League? Yeah. Look at... Yeah. So he's great this year. He's got 3.2 WAR through 152 innings. He's never put up since we started. He put 2.4 WAR and then 1.5. And then last year was a negative 0.1 WAR between Miami and Houston. So Houston, I believe, is out of it. Yeah, they're 17 and a half games out of first. They are 7 games below 500. So Alcantara is a name I could bring in. Let's go back to trade block. Alcantara is definitely a name I could bring in. Let's go back to the starters. Corbin, is he on the Nationals now? No, he's on the White Sox. Not as many other guys I'm interested in. I do focus on movement. Dylan Bundy is hurt, and he's out for 4 weeks, so not too interested there. I could always try to get the Nationals to throw in Morton as a guy with decent movement and a ground baller, so we like that. But he's really struggled run prevention-wise this year. FIP is a bit better. but was good last year from Milwaukee, and he's a free agent after the year. So we could always see if they're willing to throw him into that deal. And Alcantara, what's his contract deal? He's also a free agent. Okay, so they would both be rentals. And then bullpen-wise, so Wheeler will come back and bump Eastman to the bullpen, no big deal. And I think Alvarado will be off the team. So, bump Eastman to the bullpen, Alvarado's here. I think we still need more in this bullpen. Bradley hasn't been good and is hurt. And so I think I could send down Lawson and bring in a badass back of the bullpen arm, like a stopper or setup guy. Lawson has been good, but he's younger, and kind of like I like 6 starters. I like to have 10 relievers I can use in case I have injuries. So I think probably Eastman moves to the bullpen for Alvarado. I bring in a guy to replace Lawson, and maybe even a guy to replace Eastman, who's been really good. But he's out pitching his peripherals big time. But he's been good. He's been really good for us for 3 years now out of the bullpen. So yeah, we'll see. Let's go ahead and see real quick. Are the Nats willing to just add Charlie Morton because they just want to be done with his salary? I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, this is going to take us down to just $2.8 million of available money. So we might have to deal somebody. We might have to deal Alvarado. We're going to have to eat some of his deal. But not, oh, yeah, we can't afford that. Yeah, we're spending to the max this year for sure. Okay, so they'd be willing. So how much of the Morton deal are they willing to eat? Okay, so they're willing to eat the entire Morton deal and just put him in. They want to be rid of him. Maybe I can get a prospect in this deal too, since we're taking on Morton, even though we're taking on none of his money. So that actually makes me like this deal a bit more. Maybe I could bring in Morton and have him as a starter. Maybe I could bring in Alcantara and put him in the bullpen too, just to have just in case starters. Oh yeah, I forgot I did pull up a deal, and this is really a painless deal. None of these guys are guys that are really valued, but they haven't agreed to it. They want a legit piece, and I'm just not sure I'm willing to give up a legitimate piece for 3 months of Alcantara. So yeah, they want a top prospect or a roster player. So we'll see if I can work out a better deal for them. If not, this deal with the Nats is pretty enticing. We'll go get Juan Soto and Charlie Morton and, call it a day and just try to keep dominating the NL. So, let's go ahead, and I'm going to figure out what I'm doing for the trade deadline, and then I will, update you guys on that. Okay, so we are now at August 1st, post-trade deadline 2024. Not a lot of change in the standings, obviously. We're only a couple weeks ahead. 9.5 games up. Really a good fight here in the NL. Top 4 make it, and I don't know, half the league is within 5 games. AL, so the Mariners have the last spot. A bit more of a gap. Not as many teams making it interesting here in the AL, which I think is the opposite of last year. We're up to plus 103 run differential, third best in the league, behind the A's and the Reds, of course. And so we did pull the trigger on the blockbuster. Juan Soto is in Philly. Pending free agent Juan Soto. The deal was a little different than the one I showed y'all because I got Charlie Morton involved, and they were willing. Well, they just basically accepted a little bit different of a package, which I was actually happier with. They retained 60% of Soto's money and 90% of Morton's, which isn't a big deal because it's just money for this year. They're both pending free agents, but Davidson, Cespedes, Bohm, Pavolony, whatever it is. They were the 4 I talked about last time, but I was able to not involve Mick Abel, which was a big win for me, I think. Instead, Paju is involved, who I think, he's 24, and I signed him as a free agent, and he really, really struggled for me, but he was really good in AAA. I think this is a guy that once he has the experience, really could be one of the better relievers in the game. And my scout thinks so. OSA thinks so. Other teams valued him as that. And I really didn't want to involve him in trades because I think it's good to have guys on cheap deals like this long-term and young who can be top relievers for you. But for Soto, I was obviously willing to do it. So that was the deal. Those guys for Soto. And Let me just go. It'll be easier to show you. Let me just do it this way. The major transaction log. So we're in July here. So there's the Soto deal. We then did also trade Jose Alvarado. Of course, I said I was going to do that because I just his guru story was not working out well for him since he went and did that. Saw the guru, which is a bummer because he had been really good for me. You know, look at these ERAs and these FIPS: 2.06, 2.93, 1.92 the last 3 years for me. And then went and saw the guru and just wasn't good this year. And I had him signed to a 6-year deal for 3 years, 6 years with an option. So he's off to the Angels. And I just got a guy. I basically got the Angels liked him a lot. Obviously, he's been a good reliever for 3 years, so it makes sense that people would value him. I got a 21-year-old pitcher who they had drafted in the 8th round in 2021, and I got this guy who's basically just a good movement guy, ground baller, 30 years old, who then I put on waivers and he cleared. Just depth for me in case I have an injury. He's in AAA. So there's that. There's the Soto trade. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, and then I really wanted to strengthen my bullpen, so I went out and I got Zach Little, who, it concerns me that he's a fly ball pitcher, but with these kind of pitches, that kind of stuff, good movement, I really think he's one of the better relievers in baseball, and I wanted to fortify our bullpen. And I gave up Josh Gessner, who is a 24-year-old guy that I got, the Phillies signed him as a free agent in 2019. Maybe he was undrafted free agent. And he's been in AA for me and pitching well. He was good out of my bullpen. They have him in rookie ball still for some reason. Sometimes the computer doesn't promote properly right after a trade. But he came up a lot when I did make this work now for a lot of teams. So a lot of teams interested in him. I'm not totally sure why. Same with TJ Hopkins, who I drafted. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I traded for from the Reds in 2022. When I traded Whit Merrifield in that offseason. But he's 27 now, and you know he's hit in AA really well, and I just didn't have room for him in AAA ever. So he's in AAA now for the Giants, and you know he looks like he could be a good 4th or 5th outfielder. He's also a captain, which is important. So we brought in Zach Little for them. The Giants were out of it. They're rebuilding, I think. So Eastman is hurt. Segovia is back. So the lineup now, you know, I've got Jung Ho Lee, who has a 128 WRC plus batting 7th, because I'm partially because I'm rotating left and right. That's part of it. Lee is 4th on my team in WRC plus, but he's behind 3 lefties. So my 4 lefties are my top 4 hitters. So it goes Soto, Pache, Randolph, Machado, Harper, Adames, Lee, Realmuto, Stott, and then the only changes against lefties. Nick Solak comes in for Stott, and the order just changes a little bit. So those are the bats. I did think about bringing in a good bench bat, a guy to pinch hit, but it's really like, who do I need to pinch hit for here? So I went with guys who are more versatile and good defensively. So the bench is obviously Hedges at catcher. Solak is on the bench again most of the time. And then Maton and Jahmai Jones are the other 2 bench bats. So Jones can play outfield. He can importantly play center field. Maton can play basically all over the diamond at second, third, left, short. Mainly second, third, and I guess I shouldn't say all over the diamond. Second, third, and left. So that's my bench. I did think about bringing in a lefty bat, but it's like there's no one here who I really need to pinch hit for. And Solak is a really good bat against lefties, or against righties. I'm sorry. No, against lefties. Yeah, got that. And then Maton is decent against righties. So I didn't really feel like I needed to bring in a bat when I have such a good offense. Pitching, so Charlie Morton did come over, and I had him in the rotation. He made 2 starts, and he pitched well. But you know what? With the lead that I have in the division, I decided I want to give Segovia the experience in the rotation. Now, he has not pitched yet for me. Damn, he's fragile now. Uh-oh. I didn't notice that. That sucks. Top pitching prospect in baseball, and he's fragile. Well, hopefully my awesome trainer can keep him healthy, because I'm not going to trade him. And so he hasn't pitched yet since he came back from that arm injury. And he's struggled a bit so far this year in 17 innings, a 6.75 ERA, but a 4.21 FIP. And hopefully he can pitch well for us and stay healthy. So Nola, Barrios, Sheffield, Clevenger, Segovia, and then Little and Pomeranz are now my setup guys. Fox still in the stopper role. And then Britton, Way, Hill, Morton, Lawson. Of course, we also have Eastman, who's on the IL. Wheeler will come back, so I'm not sure who they'll replace. Morton will probably be DFA'd. I'm not sure beyond that who will be. I might have another injury, but one of the reasons I made a trade is because Bradley is out for the year. That's a bummer. So one other thing I want to show you is just I have made a few contract extension offers. Oh, it looks like somebody rejected it based off of my... Sorry, I haven't cleaned out my... You can see I haven't cleaned out my inbox in a while. No, nobody rejected it, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Let me go ahead and show you. So that's not where I want to go. So I made a few contract extension offers. Let's see here. So Juan Soto, of course, a free agent after the year, right? And so if I offer a contract extension, oh, I didn't submit it. What? I know I submitted this. I remember looking at the submission screen. So I did submit. So this is an 8-year, 223 guaranteed value, $306 million potential value with a player opt-out after 6 years. Average annual value is $37.2 million, $25 million. This is the best I could do for Juan. He was wanting over $40 million per for 10 years when we started, and I think I'm going to do it at 25 years old. Like, this is worth it. I know I submitted this offer because it had taken the money out of my available money for next year. I don't know what happened here. So we're going to go ahead and submit this, the 8 years, 37. Yeah. Anyway, sorry for the confusion here. I just don't understand why. So yeah, 8 years, $298 million deal is what we've got out there. And so then Pache is 25 and a marquee center fielder, and he's due for 12 and then 21 million in arbitration. Let's see. Let's see if it'll tell me what I offered him. Yeah, so I offered him a 6-year, $101 million deal at 25. I'm totally confident with that, especially since over the next 2 years he's projected to earn 21 plus 10 is 31, plus 3 more is 33. So 2 years, 33 million. So I'm offering like another 4 years and like 60-some million, which I think is clearly worth it for a guy as good as him. And then I also made an offer to Justice Sheffield, who has been a great stopper for me, also been a solid starting pitcher for me. He signed for 1 more year at $7.3 million, and I offered him a 4-year, $51 million deal, $51.75 million deal that he's thinking about, because that'll allow me to keep Nola, Barrios, Sheffield in the rotation for the next several years, and then I can fill it in with Segovia, Lawson, other guys. You know, with all these big deals that I'm offering, I'm going to have to fill in with guys on cheap contracts like Segovia, Lawson, and they're ready, but I'm going to have more guys like that in here. So I wanted to lock up 3 starters, and then the rest I can hopefully fill in with guys in my system. And I did try to reach a deal with Cornelius Randolph, who he's already 27, and he's got like 5 more years of team control. So it's almost like no urgency because I control him through the age of 32 and through arbitration. I did want to try to go for some cost certainty. He's looking for 8 years at the 12.375 mil that he's looking for. 8 years, 99 mil is totally reasonable, but I don't really know that I want to lock him up through the age of 35 as a slugger. I'm wary of locking up especially sluggers that long, guys who are limited to first base, corner outfield. But and he doesn't have that long of a track record. He's been a superstar for, a season and a half for me now. But we'll see. I have him for a long time, so I don't have to rush to sign him. So kind of looking at that really locks up the core of this team for a long, long time. Some of those contracts are going to come back to bite us, but hey, hopefully we're going to win a World Series or 2 in that time before it happens. So that's all for this one. Go Phillies. First place, Juan Soto is in town. Oh, and I guess I could show you Soto so far. He sat a game out. 11 games started, 12 games. He's put up 1.4 WAR, a 259 WRC plus. He has 6 home runs in 11 games, 52 plate appearances, and he's walked in 21% of his plate appearances. So, he basically walks or hits home runs. That's what he does. And all right, so that's all for this one. Hopefully you Philadelphia fans are excited about Juan Soto coming to town. Hopefully you out of the park fans who sometimes encourage me to keep it realistic and appreciate that I try to do that. Hopefully you're happy with my explanation for why this Soto deal was realistic. And I will, we're becoming the evil empire here. We're one of the top budget teams and we're spending like it. So I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks always for watching, and bye.